Good morning. You guys are the foods class and the what? The arts class?
Art, yeah.
Art, yeah. Are you like a chatty bunch, or is everyone usually like pretty mellow till after lunchtime? Pretty mellow.
I'm chatty.
You're chatty? Okay, great. So we have one heckler at the back. Everything's all right?
Angela, you're chatty.
A couple chatty.
I'm very chatty.
Jackson's definitely chatty.
Yeah, we already chatted a little bit. Okay, sounds great. Okay, my name is Kix Marshall. I'm going to talk to you guys today a little bit about food, different foods, Canadian foods, international foods, that kind of thing. I'm going to talk a little bit about travel, some different stuff that I've done in my life, some things you might want to do in your life if you choose to, and we're going to talk a little bit about life itself, maybe some business, that kind of thing, entrepreneurship, if you want to talk about that. Your class is about an hour long. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 40 minutes, and I'm going to try and talk less than that. So we have a little bit of time for questions at the end. And if you want to ask some questions, you're welcome to. But if you can try and save them till the end, that's probably going to be a little bit easier. Anyways, my name's Kix. I wrote this book right here. It's about a trip I did to Argentina on my motorcycle from Canada. It became a bestseller on Amazon the first week I wrote it. Worked out pretty good, actually, for the first book I ever wrote. This is me and Ian Hanamasting. I did an interview on national television with Ian. You might have seen him before on something like CBC, that kind of thing. We talked about the trip I did. This is another article that I wrote. It was in a Canadian magazine called Our Canada. It's about riding motorcycles through Costa Rica. Great trip, great story. This is me in a motorcycle magazine about riding to the top of a mountain called Chimborazo in El Salvador. And so, for those of you who don't know, that's actually the highest point of a tip on the Earth that they measure at actually from the center of the Earth on, like, say, Mount Everest. It's measured from sea level. And so once you're right up there, technically to get themselves on the map, they gauge it as the highest point from center Earth. So we're up there on my bike. You're not really supposed to. There's a little spot at the bottom. You stop. They let you camp for the night. You look around at the museum, and that's it. Anyway, I made a little deal with the guy. Asked if I could go through right to the top. He let me in. I went to the top. That night I came back down to the bottom and stayed at the camp. And it was the first time in my life I got altitude sickness. When you're that high up in the world, it's a lot different up there. I got really sick, but I got the picture. I got the article. I was pretty happy about it in the end. Question?
Did you have to rejet your bike to get it all over the top?
A little bit. So this bike is a carbureted bike, so it was a little bit easier. So I just adjusted the fuel flow, so it wasn't quite as difficult as like readjusting the jets, and it worked out fine. It chugged along a little bit at the top. It ran a lot worse, but it made it because it was. So it's great. This is me too. This is a Colombian coffee commercial. I was in Colombia one time. I was at a coffee farm. I was walking around. The guy talked to me. He realized I could speak a bit of Spanish. He wanted a white guy in his coffee commercial, so I ended up in a Colombian coffee commercial. It was a pretty interesting afternoon. This is a van I drove from Canada to Guatemala. I don't know if anyone knows what Central America is, but we took off with a girlfriend of mine in this old Ford van. We drove from here to Guatemala with no real plan. Turned around, came back. This is me on a motorcycle that I rode. It's a dirt bike, actually. It's a Honda 250 from Canada. I rode last summer through every province and territory in the country and documented Canadian food and Canadian culture, which is a bit about what I'm going to talk about today. And so this is me. This is in Newfoundland. Anyone ever been to Newfoundland before? Anyone? Great. Is anyone from Newfoundland? No? But you've been there? So that's me riding the bike across Canada. This is the same picture that's on the cover of this book right here. And so this is a KLR 650. It's like a oversized dirt bike, basically, that I rode from Canada. Oh, you can't really see the thing.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, there we go. This is way better. Great choice. So anyways, into bikes, this is a KLR Kawasaki 650. It is basically like an overgrown dirt bike. It's kind of like one of the cheapest dual sport bikes you can get your hands on. Super simple to use. This picture was taken in Bolivia. These guys are Bolivian dudes. So I rode that bike from Red Deer, Alberta to the tip of Argentina. Does anyone know where Argentina is? Anybody good with geography? Back of the class, you sir, you know where Argentina is?
Yeah.
South America, anybody else have any idea Argentina? All right, to put it in context, oh, you do too?
Yeah.
Great, so to make life a little bit easier, this is Canada, this is where we live right here on the board. I rode this bike from here down to the United States, Mexico. This is Central America, all the countries are crammed together. There's like Guatemala, there is El Salvador, there's Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Go through Colombia, Ecuador on the border here, Peru, Brazil, Bolivia, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Argentina. Again, you cross back and forth, come up through Paraguay. So I rode the bike all the way to here. It's the furthest point you can drive in the Americas. It's a little town called Ushuaia. It's at the end of the world. It's right by Antarctica. There's penguins running around. It's pretty cool, actually. If you ever get the chance to go in there and you like penguins, I'm going to say that's a spot you should probably go. Just to prove it so you don't think I'm totally full of it, this is the picture at Ushuaia. This is the end of the world. This is the furthest south you can go on the planet if you're on a road. It was a pretty cool trip. It took me about 2.5 years. It was really neat, actually. I thought it was pretty impressive. rode my bike down there. I was a pretty cool guy. I spent 2.5 years on the road. I met lots of people. It was super cool. And I met this guy, Saki Noro, Japanese dude. He started in Alaska, and he walked all the way to Argentina, the whole way, faster than I drove. He did it in 2 years. It took me 2.5. So this guy walked from Alaska through Canada, Mexico, United States, all the same places I did, 2 wheels, pulling this cart behind. He'd met this girl in Alaska before he left. She followed him on his trip. She flew down to meet him at the end to walk the last little bit of them. I think they're a little bit in love. That's why they kind of hung out. And he walked exactly the same distance I did. I was so impressed with myself. I couldn't believe it. I motored all the way down there. Look at me. I rode through all the Americas. Met this guy. Just took the thunder right out of my trip. I couldn't believe he did it faster than I did. Great guy. This is me in Egypt. So I rode through the camels through Egypt. You guys see the pyramids. Pretty cool if you guys have ever learned about Egypt. Lots of great history. Pretty interesting place. Anyone ever been to Egypt before? You been to Egypt? You been to Egypt too? Wow, we have 2 students in the back of the class who answer most of the questions. Anyone else? Anybody want to go to Egypt? You do? It's a pretty cool place. It's a pretty cool place, actually. I'd recommend it. These are some African elephants. I was in Africa on a safari like 2 years ago with my wife. Went there for a honeymoon, went for 6 months. I've been there a couple times. Great place. Anyone ever been to Africa? Nobody yet? Yeah, that's actually true. Egypt is in Africa, you're correct, which was a bit of a weird thing when I was there because I'm like, we're still in Africa, but it's such a large continent. Great place, you should probably go. Anyone like elephants? Elephants, yeah, super cool. They're really cool to see. You see them like snorting water up in the air and rolling around. It's pretty neat, actually. And this is also me. I also went to school here, class of '99. So for some of you, probably I'm younger than your parents, or older than your parents, actually. I went to school here. The foods class was actually over there at the time. I was one of 3 guys in our foods class, and we crushed it, actually. We were pretty good at foods. Not gonna lie to you, of all the people in the class, we weren't that bad. I wore this leopard skin tuxedo to grad. I dyed my sideburns black. I had a big white goatee. I thought I was pretty cool. I was on the front page of the paper with my mom, walking down the aisle. She's holding a rose in her mouth. Thought I was pretty impressive. That was a while ago. So the point of all that, so what? Who cares? Like, what's the point? What are you talking about? I talk a lot about myself. What does it really matter? The reason I came here today is to talk to you guys about what maybe you might want to do with your lives when you're done school. Lots of options out there. I chose a slightly different path than most of my friends did, and for me, it worked out pretty good. There's lots of highs, lots of ups, lots of downs, but in the grand scheme of things, it all worked out like not too bad at all. Oh, late student to the class. What's your name, sir? I'm going to put you on the spot. Matt. Matt is late today. Matt, we're talking about travel today. You might want to pull up a seat.
Matt's my option or good?
Oh, welcome, Matt. Welcome. Sorry, I'm just taking a little drink of water here because I talk a lot. So when I was in high school, actually I think it was in high school, I was in junior high. I was in my junior high classroom. A guy from my school, from this school, quite a bit older than us, maybe 5, 6, 7 years older than me. So a little bit less of an age gap than we have going right now. And he came and talked about after he graduated from school, he went to a place called Peru, which I'd never heard of. I had no idea what a Peru was or where it existed in the world. He went down there after school. He lived there for a year. He lived in this tree house. He was up in the jungle with monkeys. He'd hike Machu Picchu, all this stuff I'd never heard of. Has anyone heard of Machu Picchu before?
I have.
You have? Great. Have you ever like seen pictures of it and that kind of thing? Cool place, really cool. It's like this old world city that exists in the mountains that was hidden behind like a pathway through the hills that no one could find. It was an unfortified place. It's great. It's unbelievable. It still exists today. You can still go there. You can walk around. It's a super huge tourist place in Peru. Unbelievable. I had no idea that Peru existed. I had no idea where Machu Picchu was. I didn't know you could live in a tree house. I didn't know that was an option. After the guy told me that, I was like, tree houses are for me. I'm getting out of this town. I'm going to live in a treehouse. That's my goal. So if it hadn't been for that guy's speech, I wouldn't have thought about traveling probably. I wouldn't have went to a bunch of places I went to. It never occurred to me in my life that you could have actually went somewhere outside of here. I'd never been on a plane until I was 17 years old. It was the first time I went anywhere. My sister got married in Mexico. It was my first time out of the country. It was unbelievable, or so I thought, until I went to other places and realized there's a lot more cooler stuff out there. So it was great. It totally changed my life. And so I'm going to present you with like a few options that if you so exercise them in your own life, go right ahead. If you don't, it's fine. Anyone in this room into like arts and culture, music, that kind of thing? You are. Yeah? Anyone like play an instrument or like in a band or anything like that? You guys are too? You play an instrument? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? You play an instrument too? Used to? Well, you can probably pick it up and get you lots of time. Does anyone have any idea where this festival might be or what it's called? Any guesses? You have a guess?
Is that the one in the desert?
It's the one in the desert, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Burning Man. Yes, this is a festival. It's an arts festival in Nevada. It's called Burning Man.
It's
It's super close. It's not even that far from here. You don't have to travel that far to go and have a good time. In the desert, it's like 10 days long. They basically corner off a huge section. Can you see? Am I blocking your view? Okay. They corner off like a huge section of the desert. They put like 60, 70,000 people, like the artsiest people you've ever met in your life in one area. They give them like DJ booths, and they give them art cars, and they give them flamethrowers, and they give them all kinds of like crazy stuff. People are all dressed up in clothes. This picture was great because it's from far away. Clothes aren't a popular thing at this festival, so it's great that this picture is like way far away. Super interesting place. If anyone in the room's into like arts and culture and you want to go see your people, this is where your people are. They're all right here. They come and hang out for 10 days a year. Is the weirdest people on planet Earth, unless you're one of those people and you're like, this is my people. Oh, here's where they are.
When is it?
It is the end of August, I think is what it is. It's been a while since I've been there. It's been like 10 years or so. Anybody sports fans in here? Anybody like into sports? You like sports? Who's your favorite team? Who's your second favorite team? Dallas Stars. Oh, rough week for you. Rough week for you. Oh, geez, that's okay. But it was a great week the week before for you. It was amazing. Went good. Any other sports fans in here? Anybody else? You lays over there. Anybody? You're kind of a sports fan. I'm sorry, Matt. Is that what it was? Yeah, right. Matt, who was late. Yeah. Oilers. Oh, geez, no fighting in class today. No fighting in class. It was great. Have you been to a Oilers game at like the Rogers place? Have you been to a game in Dallas or anything, or I guess? Okay, so for example, have anyone been to like a Rebels game? Something like that? Okay, so for example, you walk inside there, there's like 6,000, 7,000 people inside of the Rebels game. The atmosphere is electric, the place is on fire. It's unbelievable. This is a soccer game in Colombia I went to. I took this picture. There's 60,000 people at this game, going absolutely berserk. There's one whole section where people just have drums. They're just on drum, just like smashing away at the drum and screaming to the top of their lungs about like how, whatever team this is, I don't even know, how great that team is. And they go on and on and on. And this is a small event. This is only 60,000 people. You go to Brazil, there's going to be 70, 80, 90, 100,000 people. The entire city of Red Deer is going to be inside of one stadium, and they're going to be going absolutely berserk. So at a hockey game at like Edmonton, for example, there's going to be like a beer stand set up. There's going to be a Caesar booth. There's going to be places you get alcohol. They try and like crank up the event a little bit. Soccer games, no alcohol allowed. Not allowed to have alcohol there. The environment is already like too insane. They don't want to add anything else to the mix, or someone's going to burn the place to the ground. If you're a sports fan and you want to get out and get a little sports culture in your world, I'm going to recommend you get yourself into a soccer game somewhere in Europe or in South America. People go absolutely bananas. Maybe like thrills or adventure. Yeah, you like thrills, adventure. You like lots of stuff. It's good. It's very participant. You like thrills, adventure too? What's like something crazy you want to do one day? Skydiving, yeah, good answer, yeah.
I would probably like go like to the mountains and like put some ropes like between something and then like jump off.
Jump off the rope?
Yeah, like it's what? No.
Bungee jumping?
Yeah, bungee jump.
Okay. I'm like, oh, geez, it sounds a little risky, actually. All right. But, okay, you're a little more extreme than I am. This is a place called Bulkarans in South Africa. It's the highest bungee jump in the world. They take you out, they walk you across the middle of the bridge, they tie a little rope to your feet, and they push you over the edge. If you don't go, they push you. You know, there's not like a second chance. You already paid your money. There's no like option. They're 5, 4, 3, 2, and they don't even count to 1 anymore, I don't think. They did it when I was there. They just push you over the edge. You're looking like, what, sorry?
No mercy.
Yeah, no mercy. Yeah, no turning back. You give them your $100, they push you over the edge. End of story. It's a great experience. If you ever wanted like a heart thumping, heart racing, scare your parents experience, that's it. I'd highly recommend you go check it out. Anyone that's like relaxing mornings, maybe a cup of tea, roll into your day. You guys over there? Yeah, nice chill, easygoing thing. Super cool experience. This is in Egypt. You go out, you get a hot air balloon, you get inside with a bunch of people, you have coffee, it's like 4 in the morning, the heat heats up inside of this thing, your head gets really high, you have to wear a hat so your hair doesn't burn. You slowly float up over the desert. You have views like this. These old these old Egyptian dudes who hang out in the desert all their lives, probably been there for a few thousand years. I don't know how long they've been there for, clearly a while. They lost their faces. You just float over history. It's unbelievable. Once you're there, it's like, honestly, it's like a super cool experience. Sun comes up super early in the morning. Just like float your way through life. I'd recommend it if you just like chill, easy going mornings. That's for you. This is Indonesia. Anyone here have a tattoo? You have a tattoo? Anyone under 30 have a tattoo? No? Good, great answer. Any of your parents have tattoos?
Nobody has a tattoo in here?
You have a tattoo? Oh, really? Oh, well, it still counts as a tattoo. It doesn't matter how big it is. Did you get it like around here somewhere?
No.
Did you get it around here? Did you get it like in Alberta?
I got it done by my aunt.
Oh, your aunt did it? Oh, and did it hurt?
Not
Really? Did it bleed?
I don't remember.
Oh, you don't remember? Oh, that's interesting.
It was like a year ago.
Okay. Oh, cool. So for the most part, a lot of people have tattoos. Almost everyone I know has a tattoo. And in my experience, the number one thing is they're usually painful. They usually bleed. It usually takes a while to heal. This is Indonesia. This guy and I are on this is actually an abandoned hotel in the jungle. This old man here, I'm not going to recommend this is the where you go, but this is how it happened. He's got a little light there. He's got a bottle of water at the bottom here. He brought a can of Coke, and him and I hung out for like 3 hours while he sat there with a piece of bamboo, is what that is right there. So you have this piece of bamboo with a needle tied to the end of it, and he puts the needle in the ink, and he sits there and he just like slowly puts the ink inside of your skin.
And it's the one that you hit.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, you've seen like a video about it or something?
Yeah, well, I know about it because my stepdad likes to talk about that.
Oh yeah, cool. And you too? So you know on your head, yeah. Have you seen it like on a show or something? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's super interesting experience. Just like a different way of doing things. So here they would do it with a needle and a gun, and they scratch around in it. And there, they do it with a piece of bamboo, and just like takes a long time. It took 3 hours to get this done. A long time. No blood, no pain. I couldn't believe it.
What does it say?
It says, if you were born to live your dreams, how would you live your reality? That's what mine says. A little message to myself to remember to cash in on a few of my dreams before the lights are out. So if you ever want a tattoo, I'm not going to recommend you get one. I'm just going to say there's different options out there. If you want an experience, this is a cool place to get it. This is Machu Picchu. This is what I was talking about before. Super cool place up in the mountains. Unbelievable. This huge ancient city up in the mountains here. Lots of ways to get there. The most popular way to get there, usually you fly into Peru, into Lima. You might be able to fly into Cusco or catch a train. And you catch a train in there, and then you get like a little taxi car the rest of the way. It's not the way I went. I drove my motorcycle there. It's a different story. You have to drive to a different city called Aguascalientes, and then from there there's a railroad track. You can walk into the city and then walk your way inside, and that's how I got there. It was way harder. It was way cooler. Super interesting. You see all these people who live on the backside of the mountains who are like farming potatoes in the hills. There's waterfalls and lush green scenery. It is absolutely mind-blowing. If you like the mountains in Alberta or like Lake Louise, that kind of thing, super cool experience. I would highly recommend if you ever get the chance to go to Machu Picchu. Unbelievable. Super cool place. Anybody here, so this is also in Peru. Anybody here had like a McDonald's hamburger before? Yeah, some people. Anyone had like yep. Anybody heard like an A&W burger before? Who would think it's super weird if you went into A&W or McDonald's and you could no longer get a beef burger? They said it doesn't exist anymore. No beef on the option. You went to Co-op, you went to Sobeys, can't get steak anymore. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. Would you think it's weird, or you think it's like, well, okay, there's no more steak? Yeah. Any vegetarians in the classroom? Nobody? Really? Oh, interesting. Okay, well, then this won't be so bad for you. So if you go to somewhere like India, for example, no beef. They don't eat cows there. Sacred animal. So if someone here is like on a farm and they farm cows, I think it's super normal. You raise a cow, take the cow to slaughter, they butcher the cow, you eat the cow. Super normal. India, super weird. You wouldn't see them butchering cows. You wouldn't see beef on the menu. It's not a thing. It doesn't happen. This is in Peru. This is a guinea pig. Probably guess where the story's going.
They're pets and they love them forever.
That's what happens, yeah. Super cute. Oh, somebody else here? Are you part of the class too?
Jeez, Maddie, why you late?
Morning, Crooks.
Crick, super late, pull up a chair. So I was in Peru, staying with the family there. I don't know if I got lost or got found, I'm not really sure. I ended up meeting this family. I stayed with them for a month. Super great people. We're still close to this day. Live with their family. Out one day helping them out, like, oh, come on to our house, we're gonna go for lunch. I'm like, go for lunch? Oh, sounds great. So we go up there, and I'm like, what's for lunch? This is for lunch. So at their house, the lady goes in the back, shows me her guinea pig farm. She's like, pick one out. I'm like, what's happening with the guinea pig? She's like, well, we're having this for lunch. I'm like, we're having guinea pig for lunch? She's like, yeah. So we went in there. This is the guinea pig half an hour later. I'm gonna say if you ever get the chance to have an interesting food experience around the world, I would recommend taking it. This is an experience I'll never forget in my life. Totally messed with my mind, totally out of my context. Only time I'd see guinea pigs in my life, they were at the pet store, they were at someone's house, super cute, fuzzy little animal.
And now you eat it.
Now you eat it. I couldn't believe it. I tried to explain, I'm sitting down for lunch with them, I'm giggling over lunch, I'm smirking, I'm kind of laughing a little bit, and they're like, what's so funny? Try to explain to the family that where I'm from, the guinea pig's a pet. If in my house, I was caught eating guinea pig, I'd probably go to jail. And the whole family put their forks down, and they're like, you would go to jail if you ate a guinea pig? It's not a thing where I'm from. It's just like, you don't do it. I'm like, where from, you eat chicken, you eat beef, it's pretty normal, end of story. Kind of outside of that, you like maybe some pork, but nothing like this. They couldn't believe that in my life I'd never eaten guinea pig before. They have it once a week. Super clean animal, eats vegetables, grows really fast, really meaty, lean, not a lot of fat in there, super healthy. couldn't believe we ate guinea pig for lunch. If you ever get the chance to have a very interesting food experience in your life, I'm going to recommend that you take it.
What did it taste like?
I was gonna ask that.
Ah.
Well, it's fried, and they fried it with, like, it was plantains that got fried in the same dish, so it's kind of like sweet and, well, like, I don't even know, like, it kind of tastes like, it doesn't taste a lot like chicken.
Doesn't taste like gamey meat though.
No, it doesn't taste gamey at all. No, it tastes just like a white meat. It's just like a super lean,
Lean white meat.
like chicken, like a turkey kind of thing, like that kind of, like that thing. Yeah, it doesn't taste like, it's not gamey like rabbit, it's not gamey like moose, it's not gamey like deer, it's just like a lean, I don't know, guinea pig.
And
Yeah.
white.
And white meat, yeah, it's white meat, yeah. It's pretty good, you gotta try it out. This guy's named Celso. This is in the Amazon rainforest. So driving through the Amazon one time, I never thought in my life, one of my dreams, I watched like Nat Geo as a kid growing up, and I really wanted to go to the Amazon. I'd seen all like the monkeys that live up there and all the life in the Amazon and how cool it was, and those huge trees, they're like as wide as this classroom, and the amazing Amazon rainforest. So I went there. I couldn't believe it. I just ended up there on this motorcycle trip. I had no intentions going there. I made a left turn through Bolivia. I turned up, went into the Amazon rainforest, and I was trying to get out before the rainy season hits, because the rainy season hits there. If you think a blizzard's bad, wait till you see the monsoon rains in the wet season in Brazil. It's crazy. Anyways, I got my bike stuck in the mud, got overloaded with mud, broke the shock, broke down. I ended up spending a month with this guy and his cousin at their house while I waited for my shock to get repaired. Takes a while up there. And he made me lunch one day. So this soup here is called takaka, is the name of the soup. It's made with this sort of green leaf. Looks kind of like a hardy spinach leaf, maybe like a kale sort of thing. When you cook it, you put it in the soup. It gives a sort of a sweet flavor. Also makes your mouth go numb. Have you ever been to the dentist before? Ever had your teeth frozen, your mouth frozen? That feeling afterwards where your mouth's sort of numb, you can't feel anything? You sit around a table with a bunch of people who speak a language you don't speak, and now, even hard to understand them, everyone's mouths are numb. They're talking like this, and they're talking about the soup, and the soups are running off your mouth like this. Super cool experience. I'm not even sure why they eat the leaf that makes your mouth go numb, but if you get the opportunity to sit with a bunch of people you don't know and have food run all over your face and eat the soup, it's really, really cool. I'd recommend it. If you ever want to go to Brazil, I'm going to recommend the Amazon rainforest. For me, it was the most amazing and disappointing place I've ever been in my life. Super heartbreaking and super amazing. All like endless species that still haven't been discovered. Beautiful rainforest, incredible people, cultures that still like live off the land. Unbelievable. You turn right, you go down the main road, sawing logs down, hauling them out of the rainforest, selling them for timber to China. Super devastating, incredibly heartbreaking. Like I was following a truck with a log wider than the truck, lumbering down the road before me, and I'm like, they're just hacking the rainforest down one day at a time. They burn to the ground, they put cattle farms in because they're worth more money, they plant soybeans. It is absolutely devastating. Has you ever seen a Brazil nut before? Like in a bag of nuts, it's this big, huge, round nut like that. So the Brazil nut tree is actually protected in Brazil. You can't cut them down because they're these massive trees. The nut comes in like a huge coconut-sized thing like this, grows like 80 feet in the air, falls to the ground. You got to like smash with a hammer or a chainsaw to get it open. Inside is like a collection of those big, thick, heavy nuts. Super cool tree, protected by the country. The catch is you can cut everything down around the forest and around the tree. You can mow it all down, but the tree can't live without the protection of the rest of the forest because it can't be in direct sunlight. So it has to have the protection of the tree. So you cut everything down around it, and the tree like slowly dies over time, just like wilts away, loses its life, falls down. Once it's dead, it's not the problem anymore. It already fell down. You cut it down, chop it up, use the rest of the land. It's beautiful. It's amazing. If you have a chance to go, I'd highly recommend it because one day it's not going to be there. I don't have a lot of faith in the fact that in 100 years from now that you're going to be able to see the Amazon rainforest. It is melting away pretty fast. Anyone ever seen these beautiful African animals? In a video, Nat Geo, that's a zebra, this is a kudu, that's an oryx, that's a gator you've probably seen before, and this thing, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, I'll have to think about it. Went to Africa on safari for like 6 months, super cool. If you ever go on African safari and see like the lion, well, anyone know the Lion King is that still a show? Anyways, super cool show about Africa. You go there, all the animals run around. It's unbelievable. They actually just like run around. Super cool. There's lions, there's zebras, tigers, all that stuff. It's amazing. At the start of the trip through Africa, you're kind of a tourist. Everything's new and exciting. Take pictures of all the animals. At the end of the trip through Africa, you're more like a local. Not quite as interesting anymore. You start eating all the animals. So one night for dinner, I had all these things on a plate. You can have the zebra, you can have the oryx, you can have the gator, you can have the kudu, and I forget the name of this thing, but it's really delicious. And so before I went there, what I thought is that when you ever see a picture of someone online who's like shoots their oryx or whatever it is, and they hold up the head and they're like, I thought those were all poachers. So I thought, but these are all like super bad people who are just like going through Africa and poaching all the animals. Not that that doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen all the time. These are all farmed animals. They're all raised on game farms. They're raised just like you raise cattle here. They raise them on a game farm. They sell a ticket to shoot them to tourists. I didn't do it. It's a thing. It's not for me, but you can do it. And you go through and you'll hunt the cougar, you can hunt the gator, you can hunt the oryx, you can hunt the zebra, you can shoot it, you can keep the hide, you can keep the head, you can keep whatever you want to, and then you would either eat some of the meat, but generally they give it to the people who live in the village around there, and so you eat it. And so I thought I knew a lot about the world. I didn't know that that was a thing. It's not actually as bad as it sounds. So they control the livestock just like you do cattle here. They sell the ticket to shoot them, and you can shoot them and eat them. So I ate them. It's not bad, actually. The zebra was a little rare and chewy if you like sort of weird, interesting foods. This thing was delicious. It's like this fatty, rich game meat, maybe like, I don't know, like if you could take moose meat and cut it with fat, maybe. It's super delicious. Gator was not good at all. It was like salty and chewy. If you could chew on your shoe, kind of for me, that was the same flavor. But if you get the opportunity, I would say, take it. This guy right here totally changed my life. His name's Javier. Does anyone know what these things are behind him? Any guesses?
Coffee beans?
Coffee beans, good answer, sir. That's exactly what they are. This guy I found in El Salvador, a tiny little country in South America. Used to be a pretty war-torn country. It's pretty mellow right now, but they've had certainly a lot of problems. They grow a lot of coffee beans there. You could probably walk into the grocery store here and search through the special coffee aisles, and you'd see coffee from El Salvador. So before I went there, I'd had coffee before. For me, it tasted like black mud. It was disgusting. I didn't get the point of it. I didn't understand why people drank it. I thought it was super disgusting. Does anyone here drink coffee and like it? You do, you do. Oh, like lots of people do. You do? A little bit, so-so. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I didn't get the point of it. I'm like, why do you take this? You put this in it. It tastes worse than it looks. Drink it. This guy worked on a specialty coffee farm. I landed at their hotel one day, this little tiny 4-bedroom hotel they had. He was working in the front was this little coffee shop, and there was like glass elixir jars and scales and different coffee beans on the wall, little cups of these red shells called cascara, which is like the husk of the coffee bean. I had no idea what was going on. He's like, you want coffee? I'm like, not really. So we started chatting for a little bit. He got to know me. I told him what I was up to. On the spot, he said, hey, there's a lady leaving here tomorrow. She's been a coffee apprentice. She's been here for like 6 weeks learning about coffee. If you'd like to help out around here, you can stay for free. It will teach you all about coffee. You can work on a coffee farm. Okay. I spent 6 weeks with this guy. He taught me everything about specialty coffee. Absolutely amazing. When you learn about the process from the ground up, it totally blew my mind. I had no idea how hard it was to like raise a coffee bean. It's probably harder than raising a kid. I don't have a kid either, but it seemed like super difficult. To grow the coffee in sunlight, you plant it next to certain fruits and vegetables to give it different flavors. Maybe you plant it by a mango tree, so it's sweet. Maybe you plant it by like a lemon tree, so it has like a little bit of citrus flavor. Super cool. To dry them in these beds. This isn't like Tim Hortons coffee. This is specialty, like premium quality coffee. Dry them out for good bed.
In the staff room, right?
What was that one? Maxwell House or something like that? So funny story. Behind here on the ground, so this is where they dry the good coffee. Up in the air on these beds, the air goes below it and above it so it doesn't rot or anything like that. The bad coffee, Nescafe, Tim Hortons, Maxwell House, dries back here. It's on the cement. It's thrown on the ground. It's thrown on the ground, it dries on the ground, it burns because it's on there. Well, he's giving a speech right here to a group of people about coffee and explaining the good coffee versus bad coffee. And behind us walks a guy who's working. He's walking through, he's got a smoke, he's cutting through, he's just finished up a shift. He drops the smoke in the coffee beans, goes like this and keeps on walking. He's like, if you've ever had like Tim Hortons coffee, that's where it comes from. They take it, they shake it out, they get the cement out of it, they take all the extra stuff that's out of the ground, they wash it with water until it all comes clean, they overcook it so all the taste tastes the same, and that's where cheap coffee comes from. And so not literally, not all your coffee's gonna come from a guy who's smoking on the ground. Yeah, Maxwell House, that coffee right there. That's the one, thanks for the display. Yeah, good answer.
That came from the staff room.
Yeah, if you have any other props for this pre-section, please pull them out. Yes, so everyone started laughing, and he's like, literally, the bad coffee comes from the ground. No one cares about it. No one looks after it. Obviously, on a large scale, it would be much larger than that. No one would be smoking around it, but it's just not as big a deal. This up here, they look after it. We're up in the jungle, overlooking the mountains in El Salvador, where coffee's growing. He's roasting it inside over this fire, and we're cooking it up and grinding it. Unbelievable, super cool experience. If anyone here is into coffee, I would highly recommend you go to somewhere like Colombia or Central America or maybe like Ethiopia, those parts of Africa where coffee comes from, and learn about how coffee is actually growing, how it's made, how it's harvested, what goes into it to like actually make a cup of coffee. You'll feel completely different about the process if that's your thing. Anyone ever go grocery shopping? Yeah, you've been grocery shopping before? Anybody else? Yeah, probably everyone here. This is Indonesia at a floating market. There's no Amazon, there's no eBay, there's no click and collect, there's no PC point reward system. You want stuff, you go to the market, it floats on the water, you get in your boat, you go out and you buy the stuff. little different way of life, a little bit harder, a little bit trickier to find your stuff. You just get whatever they pick that day, and that's what's available for lunch. So if you wanted to appreciate maybe what was in your lunch today a little bit more, if you had to actually get on your boat this morning and go out to, what's the lake over there, Dodds Lake or something? Go out in the middle of the lake and meet the guy, and he's the guy who has the granola bars that day, and that's where you get them from. You walk out, you get the granola bar from the granola bar guy, you go over to the person who's got the whatever ham sandwich is, you get the ham sandwich from the ham sandwich lady, you get back on your boat, you paddle to shore, you come in, you head to the classroom, probably on your scooter actually, not on your bus or your car. Super neat experience. If you ever get the opportunity to go grocery shopping on the water, it's pretty cool. I highly recommend it. It's an option. Anybody like cheese? You like cheese? Great. What's your favorite kind of cheese? Like anything, as long as it's cheesy. Yeah? Anybody else? Anybody have like a favorite kind of cheese? What's your favorite kind of cheese? Swiss cheese. Great answer. All the little holes in it. It's pretty good stuff. Mozzarella from the mozzarella family. Popular with pizzas. Good. Yeah. Gouda. Gouda is, there's so many jokes about Gouda. Gouda is Gouda. There's lots of lame jokes. If you like cheesy jokes, that's a good one. This is in France. France is super clever. They take all this stuff and they make it sound better than everywhere else in the world. They give everything little designations. They have the Champagne area. They have special little areas where different grapes grow. They have specialty areas for cheese. This is called Roquefort cheese. It's probably not, I'm probably butchering that. Can anyone actually speak French in here? Anybody? All right. Well, you can speak French? Can you say the word Roquefort properly? Because I probably can't. Roquefort. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Is it your first language at all, or no? French your first language?
Yeah.
Oh, super cool. Where are you from?
Quebec.
You're from Quebec? Oh, great. I did a whole bunch of stuff about Quebec yesterday. I'm not sure if there's Quebec stuff in here or not. I don't remember, but we'll see. Anyways, this young man one day in like the 1500s is walking around and he's eating he had some goat milk with him, and he saw this beautiful girl walking by, and he was so taken, he put his goat milk down that he'd been drinking, and he walked off and he talked to the girl and he was completely distracted. He comes back 2 months later, he finds his goat milk that's been on the ground and it has started to mold and sort of cure a bit, and he picks it up and he's like, well, I don't want to waste it, so he takes a bite out of it. Boom, he's made blue cheese completely unknowingly. It grew in these caves underground where the temperature is like just right. The temperature hovers around, I think it's like 18 or something like that. It's like a little bit warm enough where it starts to like turn things to mold, but not so warm, it melts away. He made blue cheese. So someone's like, that's a great idea. So he started taking goat milk into the cave, put it down there, it sits for, I think it's a month or two as it slowly starts to ferment and turns into blue cheese. Under the ground is absolutely, if you're into food, it's super cool. You walk down in this cave, the cave's like as big as the first half of the school, and there's all different rooms with different cheeses that are curing at different times because of the temperature and the time it takes to make them. It smells like feet in there. That part of it's not super appealing. If you can get past the feet smell, the taste of the blue cheese, if you're into that thing, it's super cool. It's a great food experience. You go in there, they give you like, this is in France.
Where?
In Roquefort. Kind of by Montpellier, like in the south sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, like southern France. Super cool, but if you're into food, if you're into that kind of thing, France, they make all the little areas, like little designated zones for everything. It's super cool. They make it all kind of bougie, and they're like, this is where we get the best grapes in the world, this is where we get the best cheese in the world, this is where we get the best ham in the world. But it's pretty cool. They did a pretty good job of it. The food's really great there. So I'm gonna recommend, if that's your thing, if you're into foods, you might wanna go for a little food tour through France. If you don't want to go that far, you can have a great food experience right here in Canada. Does anyone want to wager a guess what this might be a picture of? Meat, great answer. Anyone know like what meat? Yeah.
Maybe smoking it?
Yeah, smoking it, yeah, but guess what kind of meat it is? No guess? You can just like make a guess up. Pork? Not quite. I don't think I was gonna get it, but I'll do two. What's your guess, sorry?
I just started naming off things. I said elk, moose.
Elk, moose, Kate. So I'll do one more guess because you're not gonna get it right, but just to make it fun. Anybody else? What's that, sorry? Pigs, not pork, nope. This is sea lion. You can get sea lion right here in beautiful Canada, northern British Columbia. So last year I did a road trip across Canada, I got to learn all about the foods and cultures. I met this guy in northern British Columbia. His name is Lonnie Stewart. That's him right there. I was trying to find people who could give me great food experiences. Someone put me in touch with Lonnie. Lonnie said, hey man, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you're doing, come on my house. Great guy. I showed up in a place called the Nass Valley. Does anyone know where that is or have they heard of it? It's in northern BC. Great place. You drive up if you get to, I don't even know. You drive like towards the coast, you end up in a place called Kitimat Terrace. You drive like straight north of there, and eventually you run on a road and you end up in a place called the Nass Valley. On the end of that, there's 4 indigenous villages there. You drive through and you start at New Ianch, which is where I met Lonnie, and from there you can drive down to a place at the very end, which you reach the ocean. It's called Kincolith. There was no road to Kincolith until like 2007, I think, something like that. So the place has been isolated for almost its entire existence. Now you can drive there. It's pretty cool. It's on the ocean. Once you're standing there, if you look up, you'll stare right into the Alaska Panhandle. That's how far north it is. You can see the Alaskan mountains basically staring back at you. So behind Lonnie is, guess, you probably know the answer. You know the answer? Smokehouse. That's what this is. So behind Lonnie's house, maybe your parents have like a Traeger grill, a little smoker behind the house. Like, we smoke meat. This guy smokes meat on an industrial level. This is a smoker that he built behind his house. Bless you. Built out of cedar wood. In front of it is alder wood, which is what's right here. So it's this sort of red, really wet wood they put in there, and it smokes slowly, like just smolders away, like little by little by little. Inside of it, there's these beams inside that hang up kind of like this. On there, they put the sea lion meat. So Lonnie and his friends would go out, they would hunt sea lion on the ocean, they would bring it back to the house, clean it up, and they cut it into strips, like the picture here, like that. Cut it into like big fatty strips, and they'll hang it on these sticks up there, and they'll smoke it for like 3-4 days until it dries out. Not completely, it's not like jerky, but it's still kind of like if you're to buy beef ribs at the shop or like pork ribs at the shop, something like that. And then once he's done with it, takes it out of the smoker, and you boil it. If anyone ever cooked ribs before? It takes a super long time. So you boil the ribs for like 3 or 4 hours, whatever, so break them down so it's not so chewy. Takes it back, puts it on the barbecue, makes a little homemade barbecue sauce for it. Go to his house, when it's all said and done, boom, smoked sea lion ribs. This is a food experience you can have in Canada, not even that far away. Drive to northern British Columbia, ask around. You can't buy sea lion meat. You can't be inspected for resale, so you're not gonna walk into a restaurant, you gotta meet somebody. But it's a thing, you can totally do it. It's super cool. Tastes like sea lion, I don't know. It has its own taste, yeah, it's like a red, like, let's say elk, for example. It's beefy, but it's kind of like a red meat. So, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna say elk would be the closest guess I could come to that you could buy somewhere. But super cool. So if you ever wanted to tour around, pretty interesting stuff. If anyone wants to make some notes and look up some cool stuff later, this stuff behind it's called Oolican grease. I'm not gonna tell you a whole bunch about it, but they make it there. It is an oolican fish. It's like this big. They catch them in the river in like groups of, it's like a sardine. They catch them in like groups of hundreds of thousands. They run one time a year only. They catch as many as they can, bring them back. They put them in these large vats like the size of this, and they heat them up and then boils, and then the fat in the fish, because they're so oily, separates from the fish like this. They strain it out, goes through a strainer. Inside is this grease, and then they separate the water from it, and you'll have oolican grease. The fish itself is so oily. It's called the candlefish, another name for it, though they have them on the East Coast. The fish itself is so oily that you can take the fish after it's been dried out just as it is, and you can put a wick inside of it like this. And you can light it like a candle, and it will just burn like a fish candle. So if you ever wanted like a really cool experience to give your parents, you can give them a smelly fish candle that burns on the side of their bed. It's pretty neat. Great place, super cool, not that far away. If you ever want a really cool little food experience, go there, ask around. Someone, I promise you, will show you around the community.
Drank the grease?
Yeah, so the grease, the oolican grease, which is up here. So I don't know what it was for. It's a condiment, basically. They use it like a spread, like marmalade kind of thing like that, or like it goes on food. So what this was for in this case is we put it on the baked potato. So the baked potato had no flavor on it at all, and they would take the oolican grease out, and you put it on there and eat it, and it's I was picturing like this fatty, fishy, super gross, not really amazing taste, and it tastes like smoked salmon. It was really good, actually. It was pretty impressive. Yeah, it was like a liquid smoked salmon. Couldn't believe it. Super healthy for you. It's fish oil. Really good, super high in calories. He did give me a warning. He's like, if you've never had it before, it like cleans it right out. So he's like, just take a little teaspoon when you try it. So it just came with a warning, but it's great. It's delicious, super cool. Can't buy it, can't sell it, can only trade it. I only think that the First Nations people in the area are allowed to harvest it. I don't think you're allowed to harvest it commercially. So if you want like a unique, cool food experience, if that's your thing, drive north of BC, ask around. Somebody will probably hook you up. This is also pretty close to home. This is in Northwest Territories, not far from Yellowknife actually. This guy, his name is Donovan Bouchard. He's a member of the Dene First Nations in the Northwest Territories. Super great guy. Told him I was looking for stories about food. He said, come on over. So you get not quite to Yellowknife. There's a little town called Betchokan, I think is how you pronounce it. Go past there, make a left into the woods, find this trail, drive through the woods. I couldn't make it on my dirt bike. It was all swampy and muddy. I made it halfway there. I got sunk out. He showed up in an Argo, picked me up, took me back to his teepee and his tent in the woods. So on one side, you had this trapper's tent on the one side, and snowshoes and stuff for the winter time. It melted recently, so we're just in the early spring here. And then right over here, which I don't have a picture of actually, is a big teepee he's got set up. So inside the teepee, there's a little fire going, and he's gonna teach me about the local foods that they eat on a pretty regular basis. It was pretty cool. So this is some of the foods we ate that day. You probably know this is banneken. Anyone ever had banneken before? Not too crazy. Yeah, it's super good. It's delicious. Anyone know this is a giant rib from an animal that lives in the north? Any guesses what it is? I'll give you one. Caribou. Yeah, boom. Good answer. That's what it is. Super lean meat. Super, super lean. It's like there's almost like no fat in it at all. So they have to sort of cut it with other foods to give it some fat content, or else it's like really dry. But the rib's like it's huge, like this big, super massive. And then in behind it, there's a ptarmigan up here, little bird. And then this little animal here, small little guy here with the tail. Any guesses what that might be? Nailed it. Good answer. First try. How'd you know that? Oh, wow. That was a good one. Did it yesterday, and someone guessed bunny, and someone guessed something else. But yeah, muskrat. Nailed it. Yeah, pretty good. Good eye, Matt. Thanks for showing up late. So there's muskrat on the barbecue. So Lonnie's explained, or not Lonnie, sorry, Donovan's explained to me. Oh, I've been talking for 40 minutes already? Oh, I better rush this along. So he's got the muskrat laid out here. He's got the tail. Saved it to the very end was the thing I was like most apprehensive about was the muskrat tail. And so we saved it to the very end. But that's what it looks like when you pull it off. See the little muskrat head, little muskrat body. Yeah, that's the real deal. It's like, that's what your food looks like before it's repackaged. It comes with hair on it. It's all barbecued up. Cook it up. And when it's all said and done.
Where does it have?
They wear his mitts, actually, is what they use it for. It turns inside out and then make little mitts out of it. I also had a cut on my hand that day and explained to me that what they do if you have a cut is they take the muskrat fur and they put it inside the cut and they put sap over it, like tree sap, and then it seals the cut. And as your cut heals itself, then it pushes the fur out and you just had yourself a homemade Band-Aid. This is a cod in Newfoundland. I'm going to skip along faster here because I'm talking a bit. Super cool place. Newfoundland's a great experience if you have the chance to go there. Really cool place, really cool people. Really amazing what they do there with this cute little fish here. If your parents ever take like cod liver oil or something like that, this is where it comes from. It comes from this cute little fish right here. Actually, the fish is really ugly. Right here. So these guys clean it up afterwards. Cut the fish open it up inside of the fish. We had this for breakfast one day. These right here. So this is the tongue of the cod. It's like this piece right here. Open it up and they fry it up on the inside. And this right here is actually the female egg sac. So that is inside. It's full of eggs. They clean it out.
Caviar.
Basically, but not as opulent by any stretch of the imagination. A little hard to wrap my head around first thing in the morning. Fry it up inside. You bite into it, and there's like warm, tiny little eggs inside of it. Bit of mess with your mind a little bit. Figured if they could do it, I could probably do it. If you ever want an interesting food experience, go to Newfoundland. Ask for the cod tongue and britches is what the name of the dish is. They call it cod tongue and britches is because the little egg sac looks like this, and when you stand it up, it looks like a pair of pants. So they call it britches. Newfoundlanders
Is
are.
that white little piece?
No, the white's the tongue. This pink one right here, it's like has like a little U shape to it.
Okay.
That's the right there. So like one sack of eggs here, one sack of eggs there. Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah, it's like a mouthful. It's not. You gotta like choke it back a little bit. Yeah, you don't snack on it. Anybody here like do something good for the world? Want to volunteer maybe? Yeah, volunteer. It's a great experience. Anybody else? You like to volunteer? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's great. It's a great experience. Lots of opportunity to volunteer. This particular place we kind of came across by accident was in Namibia in Northern Africa. I heard people were camped at this campground. I hear singing one morning. I heard these kids singing in the background. I'm like, where's the singing coming from? So I just walked up the road until I found the singing. There was an orphanage there, 70 kids. Great place, anywhere from like little babies up to I think 19 years old is the max that you're allowed to be in there. And then you either have to help out or you have to leave. Those are the choices when you're 19. Great place, great experience. If you've ever thought that you've had a hard life, go to an orphanage. It will make you feel like you're from the best place in the world. These kids, the reason they ended up here, some of their parents have died, some of their parents were murdered. The kids who were like 10, 12, 13 years old were child soldiers. And so taken from their parents when they were younger, given a gun, taught how to kill people. That's how they lived their life. So at 12, 13, 14 years old, a couple years younger than you guys, they were out like murdering people against their will, like completely against their will, forced into it. Teenagers were forced into prostitution. That's what they did, like 13, 14 years old, traded around Africa. Super heartbreaking, totally devastating. Like you walk in there, the guy tells a story. I did an interview with him. It's like, we're just sitting there like bawling, like that's how to start. Super devastating. So if you ever think to yourself, oh man, my Amazon package was late today, like what a rough day. Couldn't go to the party this weekend. Some people in the world have like a pretty rough existence. If you ever wanted to feel sort of like you're trying to give your part in the world or you want to understand the world a little bit better, you can go hang out with some people who've had like a pretty difficult life and do a little good for the world. It's a great experience. This is a place I volunteered at in Peru. Super cool. Great little kids way up in the mountains. If you look, if you can see their cheeks really closely, these kids have like these bright red, rosy cheeks. They live so like far up in the Andes Mountains that the air oxygen level is super low there. So their hearts have to work a lot faster. It pumps in, makes our cheeks really red. It's high up. Like we had to acclimatize as we went to go visit them up in the little village. Super cool place. I taught them how to make chocolate bananas and pizzas. It's a great experience. These kids had never seen some weirdo from Canada on a motorcycle before. The girl I was with was from Germany. It's great. It's like, if you want to volunteer, if you want to go around the world and volunteer somewhere, tons of opportunity. There's no lack of places in the world that want you to volunteer. You could go help out the orphan orphanage where the things are hard. You go help out at the cool village where life is good. Depends on what kind of experience you want to have. But if you want to see the world, it's a great opportunity to see the people, how they really live. I'll try to tell the story like pretty quickly. Anyways, sometimes people ask me like, oh my God, the world's scary. It's such a bad place. Oh, some stuff must go wrong. Sometimes it does, but for the wrong reasons. Not for the reasons you think. So I'm driving through the Amazon one day. I'm pull off the road. I pull into this little spot to camp for the night. No one's around. I haven't seen people like all day long. So I pull in the bush, this little opening right here. It usually looks like this. For like 5 hours, all I saw was green bush. I saw this opening. I pulled in, pull inside. Put my tent up. I'm all alone. I'm in the Amazon. Super cool. Just hanging out by myself. You hear the Amazon there, the monkeys howling, that kind of thing. 2 minutes later, I hear this motorbike come ripping down the trail. I didn't see anybody. I haven't seen anybody all day long. So I thought this guy's following me or he spotted me. He's coming to rob me. So I'm a little bit freaked out. There's only one way in and one way out. So I heard him coming. I go outside. I can speak Spanish pretty good at this point. I can't speak Portuguese, which is they speak in the Amazon. So I walk out. Instantly, I start over excited, like introducing myself and hello. And this guy looks at me like, who are you? Where'd you come from? He didn't know I was there. He wasn't coming to rob me. He was going to park his bike. He was going hunting. This guy rolls out. He pulls up. Good thing I was like super smiley because it could have went different too. I don't know, but I went totally fine. Guy comes out, he pulls out this huge long shotgun, and he's trying to explain to me he's going hunting, which I have no idea what he's talking about. He's talking in Portuguese. He draws a map on the ground. He's trying to explain what's happening. I don't know. So I presume he's going to tell me on this hunting trip he's going on. I'm not so sure. He leaves. I decide I'm not going to sleep until this guy comes back because I want to make sure that he was going hunting for something else and not me. So like 3 hours go by. It's the middle of the night. At nighttime in the jungle, it's not quiet. It's the exact opposite. Everything comes to life. It's super loud. You don't sleep at nighttime in the jungle. It's crazy. It's so loud. So this guy's gone for 2-3 hours. All of a sudden, I hear like bang, bang, back to back, 2 gunshots. This guy's got a single barrel shotgun. Not possible to shoot 2 shots at one time. So I'm thinking to myself, either this guy like saw someone in the woods and he shot at them and they shot at him. They're in a gunfight right now. Maybe he's dead. Like we're all alone. Your mind starts going crazy. All these invented stories. So for another hour, I'm waiting for this guy to come back or not come back. I'm not really sure because all I heard was the 2 gunshots. Eventually shows up with another guy with a bigger gun. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? So they come back. At this point, he's got blood on his legs. He's got blood on his shirt. He's got blood on his hands. This guy's all dirty. They're both speaking Portuguese. I'm speaking Spanish, trying to get my point across. I don't know what's going on. They're drawing on the ground. They're trying to explain to it. This guy's talking about this onça, where we were, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what onça is. Anyway, next day, I'm in Manaus, in the capital city. Made it to the capital. I'm in there, and I'm telling the guy I camped in the jungle last night. I met these 2 guys with shotguns, and the guy's like, you did what? And you were where? I'm like, oh, I need a place to sleep. It wasn't quite in Manaus yet. So he's like, you don't sleep in the jungle. It's like all the animals are there. It's super dangerous. I'm like, well, went fine. I met this guy with the guns, showed him the pictures. He's like, you met guys in the jungle with guns? I'm like, I don't know, they seem friendly. He's like, what were they talking about? So I told him, they're like, talking about this onça, the onça. He's like, they were talking about onças. They had guns. They came back with blood on them. Yeah, why? He's like, an onça is a jaguar. It's probably the most dangerous animal in the rainforest. If you're camping that night and there was jaguars around you, you probably wouldn't have walked out in the morning. So there's a pretty good chance if that guy was hunting jaguars, he probably saved your life. I didn't know that. I had no idea what was going on. But lots of people ask me if you're ever scared because people are going to rob you or shoot you or whatever else. Almost always for the wrong reasons. This guy probably saved my life. What I should have been scared of was a jaguar. What I should have done is asked about what the animals were that were going to hurt me, not the people. So the world actually isn't that bad of a place. You just have to know what you should really be scared of. Okay, we'll do a couple more things, then we'll do some Q&A here. What time do we have to wrap this up at? How much longer? Okay, perfect. I'll talk for like 2 more, and then we'll do Q&A if you have any Q&As. Anyone know what this is?
Canadian money.
Canadian money, you're right. Great here, not so great in lots of other places in the world. It's not widely accepted, but it's pretty handy. I'm going to suggest that after you're out of school, if you want to make some of this, you should choose a career path that fits with whatever lifestyle you want to have. For me personally, I used to work at a Mountain View restaurant when I was a kid. Actually, I washed dishes for a while. Then I worked as a chef in different parts of the world, lots of cooking. It was great. I really loved it. I thought to myself, I want to own some restaurants. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. If you ever want to see your friends and family, don't own a restaurant. So I decided to pick a career in a restaurant. I had some restaurants for a while. I thought it was so great. I was so busy. I had this busy life. I could never go to family events. Look at me. I'm really busy. I can never see you guys. It's really great. Awful experience. Never saw my family for like 10 years. It was brutal. So I'm going to suggest if you decide to pick a career path, you pick one that's going to go with whatever you want to do for your life. After that, those restaurants actually went terrible. I went broke twice in my life, lost everything I owned 2 times, owning the restaurant business. The second time was worse than the first time, actually. The second time, not only did I lose everything, I lost an extra 100 grand on top of it. That was rough to bounce back from. Decided I was gonna do something different, drove to Argentina, learned how to write, wrote some stuff, wrote a book. It wasn't too bad. These days I sell online. Those people who you see on like YouTube videos who are like in a mansion or like on their boat talking about how they make $1 million selling on Amazon, those people are probably liars, actually. But that's what I do for a living. I sell stuff on Amazon, sell stuff on eBay, sell stuff on Walmart. Way better life experience. So these days, we're in Africa for 6 months. I'm on my laptop. Last night, I was at my parents' place in Red Deer. I'm on my laptop just working away. We were in, where did we go? We're in Asia for a while. I was in, I don't know, a bunch of places we've been to. Just open the laptop, work on your computer, sell stuff online. I'm going to suggest if you're going to choose a career path, you should choose something that's going to go with your lifestyle. If you want to be maybe a vet and you like farms, choose that because it's going to go with your lifestyle. If you want to be a doctor, you like kids, choose that. It's going to go with your lifestyle. For me, I like freedom. It worked out pretty good now. Sell stuff online. I get to have my freedom. I'm going to suggest that if you want to make money after school, you pick something that's going to go with whatever you want to do with your life. Because I'm going to say, after not seeing my family for about 10 years, terrible choice. Not only did I not see the family, lost everything I owned. I'm not going to recommend that that's a choice that you choose with your life. Pick something you like to do and head that direction. Does anyone know who this lady is?
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth, that is right. If you ever wanted to work anywhere else in the world and make some money while you travel, the great part is, if you see this lady's head on the back of the money, it's probably going to change pretty soon. Maybe it already has, I don't know. You can work in those countries, basically, no questions asked. You just apply for the visa, they give you a student work visa. You can work in Australia, you can work in New Zealand, you can work in the UK, you can work in, who else are we friends with around the world? Wherever there is Commonwealth countries that are related, you can get a work visa there, like super easy until you're 30 years old. You just apply online, you give them like $200, you prove you got the money in the bank to go, and you can go and work in a different country. So if you're ever thinking to yourself, oh my God, it's so expensive, I can't go anywhere, you can just go to the country, you can work, you can travel around. It's actually like pretty simple.
I plan on doing that during the summer because I'm going to be moving to Holland for a month with a friend.
You can work in Holland? Oh, that's great.
I can get a work visa there.
Oh, I didn't know you could get a work visa for an EU country. Pretty good. Well, that should be really fun, actually. We already talked about that. So that is just a brief overview of some things that I did with my life that went pretty well. And I'm going to suggest if you ever have any interest in maybe a cool food experience or like a great life experience, or you want to see the world, or you want to travel around, that kind of thing, I'm going to recommend that you take a little bit of action and decide what you want to do, and maybe that's the direction you go with your life. For me, it was travel. It's super cool. I find other cultures super interesting and like pretty exciting. For you, maybe, I don't know, it's just for me, that's for me. It could be something totally different. If you want to go and volunteer, maybe that's for you. I'm not exactly sure. That's a wrap. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone under 30 have any questions? Anybody at all? You have a question? Great.
Did you learn?
You get this.
Did
This
you
is-
learn like different languages?
Learn different what, sorry?
Languages?
Yeah, so I learned, it's called action, folks. That's an action bill. I'm going to recommend if you want to do anything in your life, you take action. It's more important than anything else. If you have a dream or a goal, you go and take action. If you have a question, you want to learn something that's like helpful in your future, ask a question. Great work. I learned a different language. So I wouldn't say I was the best school student ever. I took French while I was here. I did terrible. I got like 18% in the class. I didn't care. I wasn't focused. It was really hard. When I went on that trip down through the Americas here like this, I had no choice. I learned Spanish. I was alone. I didn't know anybody else. I had no one to talk to. Basically, if I didn't learn the language, I didn't have a choice. So I learned Spanish like pretty okay for a guy who didn't speak Spanish before. Maybe like, I would say 40%. You could drop me in a room with a group of people. I could have a table conversation. I get around. I felt pretty comfortable by this point. By this point, it was brutal. I couldn't talk to anyone. In here, it was okay. I spent like 6 weeks on the coffee farm. I did okay. When I got to here, I wasn't bad. By the time I got to Peru, I didn't have anyone to talk to except for locals. I got pretty good, actually. It wasn't too bad at all. So if you're gonna learn a different language, I would recommend almost anything. Spanish, French are super good. Mandarin's obviously widely spoken. Do you speak a different language at all? No? Yeah, but you can pick it up. Like that's the thing. If you're surrounded by, if you don't have a choice, so obviously you probably met lots of people in Canada who aren't from here, and you can obviously tell that it's their second language. Those people probably showed up here, didn't have a choice, they had to learn English, or they wouldn't be able to get around. You spend 2 months working at Tim Hortons, you're gonna learn English. You probably learn a lot about like coffee and donuts, but you're still gonna learn the language. It's pretty good. Any other questions? That's it, one question only. What if I had another $20 to give away?
Ooh, that's a good question. I guess during your time of travel, which was your most favorite food? Like that you tried?
Ooh, favorite food, good question. I'm actually not gonna give another $20 away, but I just wanted to see if anyone responded. So thanks for asking a question. The favorite food, oh man, that's a tough one because there's so many different foods anywhere. They do something in Argentina called an asado. It's like a giant barbecue. And so it's kind of like a food experience. So they build a huge fire in the middle, like this big massive fire. They do it in Brazil too. And then they put on like almost like a cross, kind of a bad example, but like this, they put like a rack of like a lamb, like a whole lamb on there. So legs here, legs here, legs here. And they build a big fire and they cook it with sort of incandescent heat. So the meat will be over here and they'll throw like salt at it and water kind of all day long and they'll slowly cook on the outside of the heat. And on the ground, near the coals, they have the sort of the vegetables cooking and that kind of thing. And then it's sort of like an all-day food experience. They'll cook on top of there. So I met this guy by fluke, and this guy was camped by a river, and they showed up one day. Anyways, they were building an asado, so they invited me in. They cooked all the meat on this open flame, and they grilled the vegetables on the ground. It's just like a really cool experience. It takes all day long, basically. It's like a huge outdoor barbecue. It's really great. So I don't know if that would be my favorite food, but food experience, yeah, totally, for sure. Great question. Yes, sir. I was actually using my microphone, so if you want to ask into the microphone, there you go. So it feels like we're having an experience.
Right. Yeah. So, Rob Burden from the drama room, from the art room. So, if you publish on Amazon, you said.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I publish a book on Amazon.
Best-selling publisher on Amazon.
Yeah.
How'd you do that? How'd you get started on that road?
So I came back from my trip through South America, and while I was on there, I asked people on the way, like, what do you do for, oh, sure, I'll take that little thing back. I asked people, like, what do you do for work? Because I met people on the road. People would travel on the road for like 2, 3, 4, 5. I met a guy who'd been on the road for 5 years, traveling around the world on a motorcycle. I'm like, how do you live for 5 years on the road? These people are not like super wealthy people. They just figure out a way to make it happen. So that guy was an accountant. He worked online as an accountant. So you'd log in and do some work for people to get paid online. So I started asking around like what you could do, how you make money, whatever. I met people who did like YouTube stuff and people who did like customer service. I'm like, well, that's not really my jam. And then I met some people who wrote. And they're like, yeah, we write articles. So I started writing clickbait articles online. If you ever clicked on a clickbait article, I did that for a while. And then learned how to like wrote articles for motorcycle companies, that kind of thing. And then I started asking, how do you publish a book? So I'm spelling is not my jam, grammar's not my jam. I didn't do super well with that kind of stuff in school. But I started asking around how you do it, started to get some practice, and then people just explained to me how you do it. So if you really want to know how to do it start to finish, I would say just watch a YouTube video, but you go on there and you write the book, they explain like how you set up the account, how you put your bank account on there. Go on like Upwork, you find someone to format the copy from you from like a Word document into like that kind of document. And then selling it is a bit of a different game. So you have to find someone who can sell it for you so it gets known, or you have to have enough of a following sort of thing that so they're gonna like buy your book. So for me, it was people that had read my stories and articles and they bought the book. That's how it worked for me. But there's tons of ways where you can manipulate the system if you want to and get people to buy the book just with advertising, that sort of thing. So there's lots of little tricks. I have some friends I sell on Amazon for a living. That's what I do every day. And I have a buddy who makes tons of money just because he knows how to advertise really well. There are some tricks for sure.
What do you sell on Amazon?
What do I sell? Mostly grocery and hardware. So we ship most of it to the US. Like stuff you could buy in Canada that you wouldn't have for sale in the US. Like I would say, for example, like cheesies. There's a good one if you ever want to start on Amazon. Sell cheesies. You ship it down to the US and you put it in there. Yeah, I'll just 1 second. I'll finish this. So mostly grocery hardware. We make the money on the exchange rate, and so we sell it down there. We sell it for the same price there as we would for here. So what's cost $20 to buy here, we sell it for $20 there. We exchange the money back from US to Canadian dollars, then we make the money on the exchange rate. So right now it's like 23% or whatever the difference is, expect the exchange rate. And so we change that Canadian dollars, so boom, I just made 20% on that, less the fees and stuff, mind you. So it works out to be about 10 in the end, but that's the loophole that we do with. People do it lots of different ways, but that's how we do it. Oh, sorry, you asked like we're on a talk show here. Yeah, sorry, ma'am, what's your question?
Did you have any near-death experiences?
Yep, yeah, I did. Great question. Yes, I did. How much more time we got?
We got enough time for a near-death experience.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, that was rough. And some driving, we were driving through to Machu Picchu on the road through the Andes Mountains. The Andes Mountains are massive. They're beautiful. They're humongous. Super cool to see. My now wife is on the back of the bike. She wasn't then. We're driving around. I'm on this bike here, this KLR 650. It's not meant to have a whole ton of weight on it. I got luggage on one side, I got luggage on the back, I got her in the back, I got her bag on the back. The bike is very overloaded. It's beyond capacity of what you're supposed to put on the back of the motorcycle. Winding down the road like this, my back tires sort of past the point of what you're supposed to have for grip on your tire. And I came around the corner and just dropped the bike. Super freaky. I don't know, just like out of the blue. Bike hit the ground, bike started spinning like this. Girlfriend went this way on the road. I went this way on the road. Bike went this way on the road. The upside is that we all sort of fell into the mountain because on the other side of the mountain was nothing. It was just like cliff over the edge. So if we'd fallen on that side of the road, we'd skid off the side. The bike would skid off the side. Would have been game over. We fell on this side of the road, so the bike skidded like this, super slow motion. I don't know if you've been in a car accident. It's super weird. Everything happens in like frame by frame. You just like as it spins around. The bike hits a ditch, lands up on its feet. Girlfriend's laying in the middle of the road. I'm laying in the middle of the road. Car comes around the corner. Luckily, came around the corner 2 seconds later. They stopped, look at us, like, what the hell's going on here? I have no idea. The bike dropped. In the end, we were fine. Could have went the opposite direction. So I'd say that was one of the sort of near-death experience things. There's a couple others, but that's one of them.